President Trump seems to run Southeast Wisconsin through you.
Pour yourselves a heaping cup of catharsis, folks, because this is something we all needed to see. Couple quick words and then we'll dive right in. This mother trucker right here is Republican representative from Wisconsin's very first district, Bryan Steil. And he just got endlessly eviscerated, royally roasted to his face while he floundered and struggled to defend his actions like a limp dick pool noodle. And I promise I'm only going to play you a little bit of the talking heads here for context, and then we're mainly going to focus on just the town hall itself. I have some great clips for you. But if you'll do me the solid of sticking around after that, there is something that should be very near and dear to our hearts that is at play here as well that we need to talk about. Because thanks to Donald Trump, the company that provides funding for NPR and public broadcasting has announced it's going to shut down. And we'll break down the horrific repercussions of that later in the video, but the reason I bring it up now is because even though CNN and MSNBC are running with this footage, you can see here WTMJ, the public station, were the ones who were there filming it. So please like and subscribe to support independent media, which will hopefully and very likely become the new public broadcasting for the people. And without further ado, let's get to the good stuff.
And one Republican congressman ventured beyond the Beltway and went back to his district in Wisconsin, where he was met with consistent boos and jeers during a town hall last night in his home district over his support for President Trump's policies. Congressman Bryan Steil began his town hall in the town of Elkhorn with the Pledge of Allegiance, during which the crowd emphasized the last words, and justice for all. Striking moment there. Later, several attendees expressed their disappointment with the congressman, including one person who asked why he was not stopping ICE raids by masked agents targeting immigrants.
Why are they wearing masks and why are they unidentified?
We'll probably agree to disagree on some of my answer here, but what I view is the moral hazard created by the Biden administration by allowing the U.S.-Mexico border to remain insecure. And so...
Classic Bryan Steil, just shrugging off his constituents' concerns. It sure would be a shame if his House race this upcoming midterm was razor thin, but more on that later.
And so... completely fine that we disagree. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing on the topic. President Biden had a different view than I did on the importance of securing the U.S.-Mexico border. But as millions of illegal immigrants came into the United States and there was a lack of action by the federal government, you're now seeing that action take place with the removal particularly of individuals who are in the country illegally.
I am so disappointed I am so disappointed in how you represent us as the citizens of Walworth County. Southeast Wisconsin has not been represented by you. President Trump seems to run Southeast Wisconsin through you. And all I have to ask is I will be out there working hard if you choose to run for any office.
I don't think you're the right fit for us anymore. I just think it's time to go. You just don't relate to most of us anymore, and you got to know when to step down. I think it's time.
That was Congressman Steil's first town hall since the passage of the Republicans' budget mega bill, the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill.
All right, screw these guys. We don't need their nonsense. But more importantly, screw this guy, because that was not over. Watch some of this and just tell me it doesn't give you that, let's call it the French roast feeling. And then we'll talk about the reactions to the bill and NPR.
I was always under the impression that Congress was responsible for issuing the tariff. I really feel that this is a terrible tax that's going to be placed upon the citizens of the United States.
This really, at its core, needs to be an opportunity to make sure that other countries are treating the United States fairly. The United States... You don't have, I'm not looking... I want to be able to get through as many of your questions as we can.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will never get questions if we can't keep the auditorium quiet.
It's not politics, it's morality. I care about people. And what I see happening to our immigrant population embarrasses me. You have not raised a voice to complain about it. Where do I see your leadership? I see no leadership. I see following Trump 100% of the time. And Trump's lead has been...
We'll probably agree to disagree on some of my answer here. But what I view is the moral hazard created by the Biden administration by allowing the U.S.-Mexico border to remain insecure.
And I do appreciate CNN for showing this next part, but also, why the fuck didn't MSNBC?
Question? Sure. Too many people in Gaza are starving. What do you have to say about this? I have to say, shut up.
I'm of the view that Israel has the right to defend itself, and the easy and simplest way to end this horrific war is for Hamas to surrender and release their hostages. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Doesn't mean that everyone fully agreed with me. I know there's a lot of people that did agree with me. I thank you down here, folks in the back as well, and look forward to seeing everybody again soon.
All right, before we get to the classic Kenny rant and cussing, because I have thoughts, let's take a look at Republicans' absolute worst fear, data and facts. Bryan Steil, who I realize I mispronounced his name in the beginning, but I don't give a fuck, won his House seat in the last general election 54% to 43.8. Now, I know that isn't razor thin. But when you take a look at the numbers, it's a little different, right? So he got 212,515 votes. His Democratic counterpart got 172,402. I'm not saying this to brag, but both of my videos yesterday got more views than this motherfucker had votes. Now, clearly, not every one of those views is in Wisconsin's 1st district, but if the consensus of that crowd was any indicator of the momentum and the potential that we have in the upcoming midterms, then it looks like Bryan is officially out of style. And a couple more things. You remember all that funding that has been ripped, gutted from the people of America, from Wisconsin, from corporate public broadcasting? Just today, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the American nonprofit organization that provides funding to National Public Radio and the Public Broadcasting Service, announced it would be shutting down following President Donald Trump's budget cuts to the public broadcasting. Those cuts, the ones that, despite the extraordinary efforts of millions of Americans who called, wrote, and petitioned Congress to preserve federal funding for CPB, they didn't fucking listen because they're getting funds from AIPAC, from lobbyists, from corporations that have now more tax exemptions that they can spend on lobbying these greedy fucks. The total of $9 billion in cuts to public broadcasting and foreign aid. You know where that's going? Ding, ding, ding. That's right, to Donald Trump's Gestapo agents in concentration camps.
The Medicaid cuts were publicized pretty widely, but there is one chunk of this bill that has gotten shockingly little attention. And when I started looking into it, it blew my fucking mind. Because what is about to happen with immigration enforcement spending in this country is fucking wild. Let's start by looking at this chart that shows law enforcement spending this year before the triple B passed. The triple bypass, if you will. We're giving ourselves a heart attack with this fucking thing. All right, look, you see the amount that we spend on immigration enforcement currently? It's already greater than the FBI, DEA, DHS, ATF, IRS, and any other 3-letter agency combined, which is insane. But I want to be clear that this is how much we were spending on immigration enforcement before Trump signed the triple B. This is how much we're spending on immigration enforcement now. We are about to direct an ungodly and unprecedented sum of money towards immigration enforcement and border control. This taxpayer money, your money is going to be used to fund a massive internal army devoted to racially profiling, arresting, and deporting law-abiding residents of this country.
Do I like this bill? No.
This bill is good for everything that's bad and bad for everything that's good. It features huge tax cuts for the rich and massive healthcare and food assistance cuts for the middle class and poor. That means you. At least 17 million people could lose their health insurance because of this thing. And since health insurance is the thing that people use to, stay alive, a lot of people are gonna die.
Which is why I am so relieved to have found Chapter for my family and for you. These guys are honest. They cut the crap to give you clear and simple Medicare advice. One 30-minute call saves people from days, even weeks of research. Because Chapter searches every plan to make sure you're on the right one. And they've saved seniors an average of $1,100 per year. And the best part, aside from the fact that you're not gonna get zip-tied and kicked out of the Capitol when calling, is that Chapter support is free and you won't feel any pressure or obligation. You'll just get clear, honest guidance, and if you're already on the right plan, they'll just tell you and give you that peace of mind. So if you're turning 65 or know someone already on Medicare, don't wait. Call Chapter today, because the only regret people have is not calling them sooner. So look, this is great. It's cathartic. People are fighting back. People are speaking up. They are showing that they are actually paying attention, which is, I think, the most important takeaway here. But that fucking guy's not going to step down. He's not going to listen to them. He got where he is without listening to them, without voting for them. Our system is absolutely fucked, and has been for a long time. I'm not saying violence is the answer. I don't think that's true, and I don't condone it, though I do see it as a direct consequence of this desperation that is being manufactured by our political class, and especially Republicans. They are bringing violence on themselves. Whether anybody likes it or not, it has happened, is happening, and will continue to happen, and it's probably going to get worse. But what I'm saying here is that if we do not collectively band together to address, destroy, and reform the current machinations and the systems that lead to us constantly being oppressed, and our elected officials being able to just continually get away with doing things, voting in ways that don't help their constituents or reflect what their constituents want, all because they're getting paid by Donald Trump, they're getting paid by a meme coin, they're getting paid by AIPAC, they're getting paid by Walmart, who the fuck ever. If we don't start there and realize that that's the problem, then we're never gonna get shit done. Look, don't get me wrong, I love shitting on MAGA, I love shitting on Republicans. Hell, I even like some of the culture war stuff because I think we're on the right side of history and I like pointing out how stupid these people are. But, and as I hate to say it, we need some of their votes. And more importantly, we need some of their political power. So if you care, I wouldn't even say about getting this country back, because it's about something deeper than that. If you care about getting your rights, your power back, about fixing the Supreme Court, fixing the number of House of Representatives, the gerrymandering that continues to go on till this day, all of which is mostly cheated and exacerbated by Republicans, then we need to do the exact opposite of this administration and support independent media, support public broadcasting, support science, logic, information, empathy, and for fuck's sake, we need to get mad. So I don't know about you, but I am mad as hell, and I am not taking it anymore. Especially from any pedo-protecting politicians on either side of Congress, or in the fucking White House. If you're with me, join our Really American Resistance. Thank you to all of you who have so far. We really appreciate you. We could not do this without you, and as we can see from NPR getting defunded, foreign aid getting cut, the absolute atrocities that MAGA are supporting, this work has never, ever been more important. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I'll see you guys in the next one.